Okay. So in this session, we will discuss about array operators, date operators, and conditional expressions, accumulators, comparison operators, Boolean operators. Okay. First one, before going to discuss about all these operators, we will discuss the lookup operator once again. Okay. And please ensure about this collection names, department, employee. Okay. See here. So same details I have stored in employee table, and department table. Okay. So these collection structures looks like RDBMS table structure. In department table, department number is there. So for differentiation, I have given DEPT NUM, okay, which is equivalent to DEPT number in employee collection. In department collection, department location is there, department name and department number are there. In employee collection, as usual, employee details are there, and department number is the mapping column, like common column for both collections. Okay, so here I want to display employee details with department number and department details. Okay, I want to display employee details along with department details. In RDBMS, how to write the query? You see, yesterday I have written this query. See this. So by writing this query, we can get the employee details and department details also. Okay. But in MongoDB, this is NoSQL database. Okay. So in RDBMS, we have used join conditions. In RDBM, in NoSQL, actually there are no joins, but by using lookup operator, we can achieve left outer join operator. Okay. So how to write that join condition? I mean lookup operator in MongoDB. DB dot collection name is employee dot aggregate. So aggregate syntax. This is square brackets, floor brackets. After this, comma. Now lookup operator from here you need to give another collection name, which is needs to be join. So I am giving department, comma, local field. Here F should be caps lock. Local field. That means in employee table, in employee collection, what was the mapping column name? Mapping field name is DEPT-NO. Here DEPT-NO. Okay. Next, foreign field. Foreign field. So here you need to give mapping column name which is available in this department collection. So what will be the mapping column name? DEPT NUM. DEPT NUM. So these two columns, this local field belongs to this employee collection field name. Foreign field belongs to here whatever the collection name mentioned in from property. So that field name we have to give here. Okay. After that, you will get some data. So that data I am assigning to document. Okay. Execute it. See this. So here you are getting all the details from employee collection and all the details from department collection. That array is known as document, whatever you have given here. So that is nothing that contains department field values. Okay, see this. Okay. So this is lookup operator. Now, I don't want to display all the column names. I want to display specified column names. Then what to do? You need to write projection. Project. What are the column names you want to display? MP number 1, E name 1, document dot E name. So this should be in quotations. 1. See this. Okay. So same query, I am reversing the collection names. So here I'm putting here department here, and this one is also should be reversed. Now see what will happen. See this. Here I am joining. That means what? Which one is the left collection? Employee collection. It is left table, left collection. Okay, and department. This one is department. In between them, you are using lookup. Okay, this is left collection. This one is right collection. Okay, so you are going to add fields from the department to the employee collection. That means this query will display all the documents which are available in employee collection along with the department documents. Okay, that's why you are getting 14 documents, whatever available in employee collection, and each and every document you are having some department details which comes from department collection. Okay, that is about this query. And coming to this query, here department, this is left collection, so lookup, and employee is the right collection. Okay, here you are adding employee documents to the department collection. Okay, that means the documents whatever the available in department collection, that will be displayed, and the corresponding documents, that means matched documents which are available in employee collection, that will be displayed also under this doc field. Okay, that means whatever the department number 20 documents are there, so that will be displayed in array of doc. Okay, and 30 department employees, that will be displayed in array of doc here, like that 10. So here there is no 40 department employees, that's why here empty array will be displayed. Okay, that means this lookup operator satisfies the left outer join condition in RDBMS. Okay, so joins are not available in NoSQL, that I mean MongoDB. But if you use lookup operator, you can achieve left outer join functionality. Okay, so this is the way to achieve left outer join functionality. Okay, so see this result. See what will happen here. 10, 20, 30 department details are there along with 40 department details. You are using what you are using? Department left join employee. Okay, so if you write employee left join department, then what will happen? See, you don't get 40. See this, you don't get 40. Why? Because 40 is available in department table, not employee table. Okay, so in first query, you will get 40 employee details. Okay, left join is nothing but complete records from left table plus matched records from both tables. Okay, unmatched records from left table plus matched records, that is left join. Is it okay now? Lookup operator. Yesterday someone has asked, na? May I know his name? Who asked on yesterday? Oh. Okay. Array operators. Is there any doubts on yesterday's session? Please ask. Okay. So first one is array element yet. db dot ept dot aggregate project first array element yet employees 0. So same copy last. -1 department series. So array element yet, that is nothing but first you can fetch the first element from an array and you can get the last element and from an array. So if you give 0, then you can get the first element. If you give -1, then you can get the last element. Okay, so that is element array element at. So it returns the element at the specified array index. Suppose if you give 3, then see what will happen. You are having Adams. So I think it will be in 3 Adams. Okay. If you give 0, observe this here. 0 element is Smith and last, what will be the last element? Last object Ford. Okay, Smith Ford. If you give 0 -1, then in 0 you will get employee name Smith. If you give -1 means you will get Ford. That means last element, last object from the employees array. Okay, you can also refer here also. Third object, so third document. Here 3 elements are there. First element is King, last element is Miller. So here go to the third. First element is King, last element is Miller. Okay. So this is query result. This one is actual collection data. Okay. So if you are giving positive number, then what will happen? It returns the element at the index position, counting from the start of the array. If you give negative number, it returns the element at the index position, counting from the end of the array. Okay. Suppose if you give -2, then see, last one is -2 Adams. So see this. So Adams. This is last but one is Adams. Why? Because you have given -2. So last but one. If you give -1, that should be last object name. Okay. Next, concat arrays. Array concatenations. Concat array can give here cat arrays. Employees. I am going to concat two arrays. So employees in DBT collection, employees is one array. Okay. So here I am giving another array. That array office telematics address Hyderabad. Okay. So this one is actual DEPT collection, and here I am concatenating two arrays. One is employee array and another one is this array. Okay. See, concatenate arrays. Series. Here, this one is concatenated to existing employees array. Okay. At the end of this array. And you can also find here also. Here. Okay. So this array is null, so that it will not be concatenated. So last fourth document, it belongs to 40th. In 40th, there are no employee details. That's why it is not concatenated. So that is concatenation arrays. Next one is filter. So filter selects a subset of the array to return an array with only the elements that match the filter condition. Okay, so I think you have used that filter condition in Angular and Node.js also. Okay, so same functionality, but syntax is different. Filter, filter, and Input. Here I am passing employee array as input, comma, as details, or you can give document. Here I am writing condition GTE document dot salary, comma, 3000. Okay, see this in department collection. I have employees array. In that, I want to filter the documents whose salary is greater than or equal to 3000. Okay, so how to write the query? So if that is normal collection, you can write the query like if it is normal collection means, see this one is EMP. If it is normal collection means how to write the query? So this one is writing the query. Okay, but this employee details are in the form of array. Then how to write the query? So this is filter. By using the filter, we can achieve this functionality. See this here in department projection, DBT number 1. In DBT department 20, only 2 documents are there who are having salary greater than or equal to 3000. In department number 30, there are no employees are there, salary greater than or equal to 3000. In department 10, only 1 employee is there. Okay. So this is filter. Here I am giving employees array as a input and as doc. As doc means first object. Okay. Condition greater than or equal to document in that object dot salary greater than or equal to 3000. Just like I think all of you know about for each loop in JavaScript or TypeScript. So in for each, how do you write? Element like this, no? So what is the meaning of this element? So you will here array dot for each. In this array, you are taking one element. Okay, first object. One by one, you will take one by one objects. Okay, so first object, it will be passed to element so that it will process. Okay, like that. Doc is nothing but in array. Suppose n objects are there. Okay, so object is like this. Okay, so this one is one object, this one is one object. So you are passing one by one object, you are taking one by one object, and then you are checking this condition. If it is satisfied, then it will keep that result into filter field. Okay, if it doesn't satisfy, simply it will ignores. If first object is satisfied, then it will move to that object to filter field. If second object is not satisfied, then it will ignore. It will go to third object. Like that, how many number of documents are there? So that much of times it will repeat. Okay, that is about filter. So internally filters the objects in the array based on the certain condition. Next, index of array. So it searches an array for an occurrence of a specified value and returns the array index of the first occurrence. If this value is not, it will
Sir, your voice is breaking.
voice is breaking just now.
Yes, sir. Now it is clear, sir.
Okay. So index of array means it will searches a specified value and returns first occurrence of that value. Okay. If it is not found that specified value, it returns -1. Okay. Index of an array. Here I am giving just column name. You can give any name, but here operator name is that should be same, index of array. And employees dot sal. I want to search employee salary 3000. Some error is there. Okay, extra floor bracket is there. See this here. 3000 employee salary is available in department number 20. Employee array position is 2. Let me check. So this is 20 employee array, and here this is 0 object, and this one is first object. Here 3000 is not there, and here 3000 is there. Okay, so after that here's 3000 is there, but index of array returns first occurrence only, not second occurrence. Okay, so if you want to know the second occurrence, then simply you put here 2, not 2, more than 2, 3. See, okay, so after the first occurrence position, if you give, then you will get second occurrence position. Okay, see, in this department number 30 documents, this employee salary 3000 is not available. That's why it is returning -1. For department number 10 also, there are no employees are having salary 3000. Okay, if you give 1250, all are -1. Why? Because you have given -3. Sorry, 3. So if you give 1250 without having third argument, then in department number 30, first position is having 1250. Department number 30, first position. See this, 1250. Okay. So first position. Now you give second. Then observe this. Next occurrence. So next occurrence is this one, 1250. That's why it is returning 2. Okay. So this is about index of array. Next, is array. Is array determines if the operand is an array, it returns a Boolean value. Okay. So we will check. So is array employees see this here, employees. I am giving employees array to is array operator. See, department number 20, 30, 10 is having employees field which contains array of elements. That's why we are getting true for is array field. But department number 40, we are not having employee array. That's why we are getting false. Okay. Next, range. So for this, I am taking EMP collection. Okay. So EMP collection is, see this, EMP collection. Okay. Here, salary. I need to have this ID 0. See this, 100, salary 2000. Yeah. So range means it will gives output an array containing a sequence of integers according to user defined inputs. Okay, like we are giving salary to range and starting value is 100 and incremented value is 200. Okay, so it will add 100 to 200 for every iteration till you get this salary value. Okay, so like first one is 100, again it will 200 will be added, 300, again 300, 200 will be added, 500, 200 will be added, 700. Next, 200 will not be added. Why? Because if you add 200, it will get 900. That's why it is more than 800. So that it will not be added. So that is range. Okay. According to the inputs you have given, it will add one by one until you reach salary value. Okay. So here also you can observe up to 2,900 only it will be added. After that, it will not be added. Okay. Next. Reverse array. So all of you know that reversing the array. So that means it returns an array with the elements in reversing order. So reverse. Employees, and for this array you need to use array. So that I am going to use DEPT collection. See this DEPT collection. And the employees need to display employees. Yeah. See this reversing array. So we are displaying both employees actual array and reversing array. Okay. See this. What is this? First object Smith. Okay. In reversing array, that will be the last object Smith. Okay. Similarly, second document, last object is James. In reversing array, first object should be James. Okay, this is reversing array. Next, size. Size. Is this here? The argument to size must be an array, but was type missing. Yeah. So why it is called? Why it is getting error means here, in order to apply this size operator, that employees field should be array. Otherwise, you will get error. But here, one of the document is having null or empty. Okay, so that's why it won't work. So to eliminate this, that means if you don't consider this document, then this query will work. So how to not considering this document means you need to write match employees type for array 4. Now it will work. See this. So in employees array, size is 5. In second document, 6, 3. Okay. See this count is equal. So that is size. And slice. Slice means it will return a subset of an array. Like slice and array what will happen. So in employees, 5 objects are there. In slice, 2 objects are there. Why? Because you have given 2. See this, Smith, 0, Smith. In first position, Jones are there. In first object, Jones are there. Okay, that means it will extract 2 objects, specified number of objects from the employees array. Suppose if you specify 3, then it will return first 3 objects. See this, 3 objects. Okay, that is slice, subset of an array according to specified value. Next one is in. In means it returns a Boolean value indicating whether a specified value is in an array or not. Like DPT in employee dot sal. Mm, 50. See, so here 1250 salary is available in this document. So you want to know that document, then you can write here department number 1. See, in 30th department, this salary is available. Okay, if you give 3000, then in 20th department, 3000 is available. That's why it is returning true. So in 3010, so the 3000 employee details are not available. That's why it is returning false. Okay, you can check here. 3000 department number is 20. Okay, that is in. Next one is date operators. For date operators, it is better to insert one column. Okay. In employee db.emp.insert dot I am taking date as a field name and inserting some new date. The one record has been inserted. So go to EMP. See this one record has been inserted. Okay. So now we'll do date methods. So how can we get this date of year, month, week, year, month? Okay. So I will write all these operations at a time so that you can easily understandable at once. db.emp.aggregate Project. Field path, field name may not starts with $. Null. Okay, so these fields are not having, so all these fields are not having date. Okay, then we can write match condition before project. Match employee type for not for 9, I think 9. Sorry, not date. Not employee date. Yeah. Series. This is inserted date. Okay, we have inserted earlier. From this date, if you write date of year operator, then you will get day of year. So today is 334. That means yearly 365 days. So today is 334th day. Day of month. So today is 30th. Day of week. Today is 3. So date starts from Sunday 1, 2, 3. And year 2021 month 11 week 48th week, yearly 52 weeks are there, and hour 13th hour. So this is UTC time it was stored. Okay, so minutes 52 minutes, seconds 52 seconds, milliseconds, so 838. So 838. Okay, like that we can extract the whatever you want date object. So year, month, day, week, okay, hour, minute, second, milliseconds. We can extract by using these operators. Okay, and date to string means we can construct date also. Okay. So here Y means it indicates to the year, small m indicates month, D date, hour, minutes, capital letters, yes, seconds, milliseconds. Okay, so these are no need to remember. So you keep this table in one place, and then you can, from this table you can get. Okay, so from this table, so how can we construct a date format or time format? Okay, so I want to construct 2021, or today's date is 30th hyphen 11 hyphen 2021. Okay, so how do I construct? So date to string, so format so first one is month. For month, sorry, day is D, day of month, 1 to 31. So D, before that percentage D. So percentage D. So I want to give hyphen. So hyphen and month. So for month, small m, percentage M, hyphen, year, capital Y. So percentage capital Y. Identifier error was there. Okay, here I didn't give the comment. Yeah, see this 30/11/2021. Okay, I want to construct the date format like hyphen date hyphen year. Then so here put M, here put D. Like that, you can construct. That is, as per the requirement, you can construct the date. So you can have colon also here. See this. Actually, we used to write hyphen or slash, not colon. Colon will be used for hours, minutes, seconds, not second, hours, between the hours and minutes. Like that. So like this, you can construct time also. So same thing, time for time, what is hours, minutes, HMS. H M S. Again error. Okay, you didn't put comma here. See this. So actual date for time format is colon should be between colon should become should lies between hours and minutes and seconds. After seconds and milliseconds, dot should be there. Okay. And you can construct date and time in a single string also. Date time. Date time. Here you just copy this, and I want to have hyphen date hyphen month hyphen year. After that, I want to have some space. After that, hours colon minutes colon seconds. What will happen? Unrecognized expression date time to string. Okay, date to string here. Yeah. So see this. So like that we can construct. So if you put dot percentage L milliseconds. Okay, milliseconds also displayed. So this is about date time. Okay. Next, conditional expressions. So conditional in this, three operations are there. One is conditional operator, if null, switch. Okay. So conditional means it is like ternary operators in Node.js. Okay. So ternary operator means it evaluates one expression and depending on the result, returns the value of one of the two expressions. Okay. So db.emp aggregate project L1 and so here stations and here we need to use like status. So here this is the field name and then internally operator is condition. That means dollar condition and here if greater than of salary 3,000, then here you need to display whatever you want. So you can write more than 3,000. So here, so this is one expression. So if the salary is greater than 3,000, then you need to display more than 3,000. Okay. Else so if it is not happen, then two conditions will be there, like less than 3,000 or brackets, all are fine. Yes, I think something has missed. Okay. Less than or equal to, why it is, I think this one, then 1,000. So status condition if greater than or EMP cell is there? Yes. Oh shit. Yeah. See this. So all these salaries are less than 3,000. Okay. But only 5,000 is only more than 3,000. Okay. Except that we have written in else block less than 3,000. Okay. But see this, in 3,000, for 3,000 also it is like less than 3,000. So it is not correct. Okay. For this, you need to write again conditional operator. Okay. So this is just like ternary operator in TypeScript or JavaScript. Ternary operator means, suppose if A is greater than B, then question mark can write A is greater than B, else. Okay. less than b. So here after question mark, this is nothing but then. Okay. So before question mark, whatever you have written expression. So that is this expression, if this expression. Okay. After colon, that is nothing but else block. Okay. So this is ternary operator. Now salary 3000 is also there. For that you need to write equal to. Okay. So how to write equal? So here we need to write another conditional operator. If equal sal of 3000, not here colon, again I am doing same mistake, comma, then it has to display equal to 3000. Okay. So here you can write else less than 3000. So see these flower brackets, all are matched. So if you put another one, is it matched? No. Yes, now it is matched. See this for 3000. So we can get equal to 3000. For remaining, if it is less than 3000, you will get less than 3000. If it is more than 3000, you will get more than 3000. Okay. So this is about conditional operator, just like ternary operator in JavaScript or TypeScript. Next, if null. So if null, so if null, if null, so in employee collection, EMP collection, commission is null. Okay. So if commission is null, then what to display? Whatever you want, you can display. Commission unrecognized expression if null. Oh, yes. See this. If commission is not null, it will display whatever the value is available. If the commission is null, it will display empty. So you can write undefined also. It will display. Okay. You can write 0. It will display. Okay, whatever you want, you can write it. So that is if null. Next one is switch. So I think all of you know that switch operator. So just like switch statement in JavaScript. So it evaluates a series of case expressions. When it finds an expression which evaluates to true, switch executes a specified expression and breaks out of the control flow. Okay. Once the condition is satisfied, it will not go to another case. Okay. So for this, take it department DPT collection. And projection DEPT number. DEPT number switch. Switch is keyword, so that's why it is not allowing. Switch example, and here switch and branches. So you need to use this branch keyword, and here in this square brackets you can use multiple cases, like first case it is keyword equal DEPT number, comma 20. DEPT number 20, and I want to display DEPT number 10. So this is one of the case, that's why need to put floor brackets. And same thing you can put here if it is 20, 30. So 20, 30. And so for default, no need to write this floor brackets. Default DEPT number 40. I think this should be after this. Yes. So if the department number is 20, then so it will display department number 20. 10 means 10. So if you don't specify, it will display 40. Or you can write unknown also. Unknown number. Like that. So if one case is satisfied, then it will break remaining. That means it will break the control flow. So it will not go to another case statements. Okay, that is switch. Next one is accumulators. So is there any doubt till now? Okay. So accumulators means we can have count from the some collection, and we can have some average, minimum, max, first, last. Okay, so we will discuss one by one. So how to calculate the department wise count? So db.emp.aggregate. So here group operator is there. Group, just like RDBMS. See this. In this, select from EMP group by department number, count of star as CNT, and minimum of sal as minimum salary, max, and average, um, yeah. What happened? Okay, see this. So here I am calculating department wise count, minimum salary, maximum salary, average salary, sum of salary. Okay. Now, so this is the way to write the query in RDBMS. Same query, how to write the in MongoDB. So here, like RDBMS, group operator is there. So like in MongoDB, group operator is there. So here underscore ID. So this should be fixed. Underscore ID you should give. For underscore ID, you can give DEPT dot department number. Why? Because in EMP collection, DEPT object is having department number. Okay, so count sum of 1. See this. So if you write like this, then you will get list of employees, employee count for each and every department. Okay. So put comma after that total salary. So you just copy this. So here total salary for this sum, and you give sal column, then you will get total salary. And here minimum salary, you give min operator, you will get minimum salary. Here you need to give required field. Here max salary. Here max sorry, salary and average salary. Here you need to give AVG. Here column sal. Okay, see this. Okay, so you can check this. For department number 20, sum of salary is 10875. Okay, minimum salary 800, maximum salary 3000. $800, 3000, average salary 2175. Yes, 2175. Okay, so that is count, sum, average, minimum, maximum, and first to last. So first, last, first salary, sal, last salary, series. First, not sum. First, you need to use first. Here, last keyword. Series. First, in department number 10. Okay, what will be the first salary, last salary? In department number 10. So where it is department number 10? See this department number 10. This is the first department number 10 object. Salary is 5000. Okay. See this last salary. So where it is last department number 10. So count is department number 10 count is 3. So this one is first object of department number 10. Okay. This one is second object of department number 10. See this here. And this is the third object of department number 10. So here salary is 1300. So last salary is 1300. Okay, and another one is push. Push sal here, push and sal, and another one is add to set. Add to set sal, add to set. See this here, elements are there. So push salary means here I have used $push colon $sal. That means for this, what are the salaries are there for each and every department? That salaries are pushed in one array. Okay, so see this. How many employees are there under the department number 20? 5 elements are there. Five employees are there. That means in push salary field, 5 salary details will be there. 800, 2,975, 3,000, 1,100, 3,000. Okay. But coming to add to set salary, only 4 elements are there, but actually 5. So which one is missing? 3,000 is missing. Why? Because yesterday I have discussed about add to set. So it does not allow duplicates. Okay. Push salary, whatever the salary contains, even though it is having duplicates, then it will push all that salary details into one array. And add to set means it eliminates the duplicates and it will move that all salary details to one array except duplicates. Okay. Instead of duplicates, it will take only one value. See this. Here also 1250 comes for twice, but here add to set comes for, it allows only one time. Okay. So that is about accumulators. Next one is comparison operators. So comparison operators means what are there? CMP. Okay, CMP, I think yesterday I have discussed comparison. Okay. I will discuss with taking different column. Project. Yesterday we have seen about string comparison. Now we will see new numbers comparison. Salary is not defined. Okay, we need to put in quotations. See this. So if the value, specified value is less than this salary field value, then it will return 1. Okay. If it is equal, then it will return 0. Okay. So if salary is greater than 2000, then it will return 1. If salary equal to 2000, it will return 0. If salary less than 2000, then it will return -1. Okay, observe this. 800 is less than 2000, so it will return -1. So there are no employees of salary 2000. That's why we will not get 0. So if you give 3000, then we will get 0. See this 0 0. Okay, so that is about comparison operator. Next one is equal. Equal. In syntax, just replace with operator equal. See this. So in comparison, we will get 1 0 -1. But except comparison, remaining operators, we will get the output like this only. If it is value is matched, then we will get true. Otherwise, we will get false. Here, true is coming for 2 times. Here. Okay. Greater than or equal. So if you put greater than, then see only 5000 only gets true. If you put greater than or equal to, so 3000 and 5000 all are true, remaining are false. If we give less than, so less than 3000 all are false. Okay. Sorry, less than 3000 all are true. Equal to 3000, above 3000 all are false. Less than or equal to 3000 means less than or equal to 3000 all are true. Greater than 3000, that is false. Next one is NE, not equal. So not equal to 3000, that is true. Remaining all are false. That is not equal. Okay. So reverse. So equal to 3000 only false. Except that all are come. And last Boolean operators and or not. So actually these comparison operators we have discussed in earlier sessions, but that not belongs to aggregate operations. Okay, that belongs to normal operators. That means we can write that operators, we can use that operators in find query. Okay, so that syntax is different, this one is different. So here and means it returns true when all its expressions evaluate true. Okay. So and okay. brackets dt So this flower bracket is closed for greater than, and this one is open for less than. Flower bracket sal, comma 2000, and see this. So salary should be lies between 1000 and 2000. Okay. So the documents are having true whose salary lies between 1000 and 2000. Okay. So this one is true. This one is true because their salary lies between 1000 to 2000. Okay. So this is about AND operation. So in normal AND operations, you will not get the result like this, true, false. Okay. You will get the document details. Like if you write salary greater than 1000, less than 2000. See what will happen? You will get the list of documents. You will not get like this, true, false conditions. Okay. That is the difference between normal AND and aggregation pipeline operators and operations. So R means R equal salary is 3000 and equal DEPT number 30. DEPT number 1. See this here, meaning is, so I want to have true either that salary is 3000 or department number is 30. Okay. Or you can write like this also, sal 5000. For this employees only, I want to get true, except that are all false. 3000, 3000, 5000. Okay. If you write department number now, so it will come as an object, then it is somewhat difficult to check. That's why I'm giving salary 5000. Now it is easy to check 3000, 3000 or 5000. Remaining employees, remaining documents are having false. And next one is not. Not Not series not equal to 3000. Okay, so not equal to 3000. So 800 is not equal to 3000. That's why it is true. That means equal to 3000, that is false, except that all are true. That is about not operator. Okay, so not operator means opposite value. Opposite of expression. So this is about Boolean operators. Yeah. Anybody is having doubt?